Well, we're ready to bore some holes in the cone here, and the first thing I'm going to do is bore the center spindle hole, because I know where it's going. I know its angle. Doesn't have one. It's just straight. So let's lay them out. Let's lay them out first. So the outside spindles, I come an inch in. So you see I measured from right here, which is the important spot in this whole cone. It doesn't matter what goes on out here. You can have any ear you want. That's the measurement that you want right there. And then the others is superfluous or whatever that would be. Okay, so I come in an inch, Now I can lay this out between them. I guess I could put a center line down my, but I better put it with the pencil. I don't know if I can put a center line with that thing. I'm using that marker so you can see it. So there we go. Now I can see if I can walk it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like a little bit on that side. Let's see what I got over here. Sometimes they're the same. I believe these are going to be pretty close. Okay, I'll take that. That's that look. Yeah, if I'll get that a little bit maybe. Okay. Now I'm going to put tick marks on the front. Because I'll need these when I take it over to the chair. So I'm going to drill the center hole. If you remember when we shaped this thing, I made the back and the bottom perpendicular. See how it looks? That's pretty good. That way, when I drill, this is my reference point for this angle right here. Okay. So, and I like the way it looks too, because the spindles continue on up and just straight up that back, as opposed to coming in if you brought the back of the comb in. So now I need to lift those ears up a little bit to get that perpendicular with the workbench. So we've got a few shims here that we'll try out. So those are about 1/2 inch ones. And if I put it right over here, that is dead on it. And right over here, that is right on it too. That's starting to open up a little bit with me at the top, down near the bench there. That one's opening up a little bit with me, and that one's open about a 1/16 down here. So there's a slight twist in the cone. But a 1/16 of an inch is not much. I'm going to divide the difference between the two and have a 32nd open here and a 32nd open here, because I can't adjust the angle of the hole. Of course, they all have to line up in this plane right here. So what I'll do now, I could, if it was really bad, I could put it back on the form, and with that paint stripper gun, that heat gun, I could change it. I can do anything I want to with it, but it's so close right now, there's no reason to do that. So I'll just use another size shim. just a little bit smaller and see what I got. So it looks like that might have cut that gap in half. Yeah, I've got a very small gap up at the top, about a 32nd, and that one looks like it's just dead on it there. So that'd be good enough right there. So those are the shims that I'm going to use. Now I can pull it back right like that. And clamp her down. See, this side will want to come up, so I got to hold her down there. See if that'll hold. Yeah, that will hold. Well, I got the wrong drill bit in here. The one I want to drill with. This one right here. So I got a 3/8 auger bit, and so I want to drill it square in this plane, and I want to drill it square in that plane. Now I could set up mirrors here, which would probably be just about too sensible to do something like that. So I'll just kind of drill it. I don't use 2 squares. Maybe that'll help me. I don't know what am I going to do here. Do something like that. Just drill it, Curtis. Get it over with. Okay. I want to go 3/4 of an inch deep. I don't know how many turns it is with this bit. I think it might be 18. I'll stop at 15 and measure it, and then we'll see. So let's get going. So let's stop at 4 and take a look at that. Looks like I need to go forward just a little bit. And we'll take a look at that one. I'm dead on it there. So now let's look at it. Forward a little bit more. Holding it good there. Okay, I'm into it 12 turns, and with an auger bit, as most of y'all probably know, you got to correct that really quick. It doesn't give you much time. You get down in that hole just a little bit, and what you've got is what you're gonna, what you got. A spoon bit, you can change it, and you can change the brad point some too. But the auger bit will lock you in real quick. Now, one thing you don't want to do is come through the face there. That's a real bummer right there. And while I've probably got plenty of room, it's such a bummer to come through, and I've done it before. I was checking it there. I was feeling, but I think I'm perfectly fine. Let's see how deep that is. I bet that's about 5/8. 5/8. I thought it took a couple more turns than that. Aha. There you go. I am close to the front. I'm going to stop right there. Yep, sirree. I should have moved that back just a little bit. So it didn't do any damage, but I can feel it. It's close to that wall right there, and it says stop. So good thing I was feeling there with my finger. So we're dead on 3/4, so it let me get there, but okay, no damage done. So what I've done, while you weren't looking, is I cut this one off. I like 27 inches between the bottom of the cone and the top of the seat, which means I cut this spindle 28 3/4. So I go an inch down into the seat and 3/4 up into the cone. So I've already cut it. I've got this marked at 3/4, so I'll know when that's down. And now I can start finding the angle for all these other ones. So I'm just going to pull that back and get that in front. There we go. Now I left, if you remember when I was doing this, I left this top flat. I don't have a knife edge up here that I'll have later when I finish it. I left it flat so I could bang on it. It's not going to let me bang on it too hard though. That's pretty thin. So now I can pull these out right like that, and it looks like that I may not have enough. I might have to cut off more off of this right here in order to get my 3/4 right there. I would say that's what I need to do, but I can get my angle right now. Anyway, I don't need that for my angle. So I can push that over there. Put a spring clamp on that. Pull this one over. And spring clamp that. And yeah, that's about, let's see here, let me take this one down just at least a little bit. There we go. Where's my pencil? Now I can mark it. I can just go right up the side of it. Give me the angle. Go right up the side of that one. That looks like it's a little much there. Okay, now let's look at this one. Just mark the center of it, and I'm in the center of the that'd be good. That's that one right there. Now back over the workbench. Alright, so I switched drill bits. Now, the reason why is this, is that auger bit can split this cone. It's so close to the edge right there, and I guess from the torque the auger bit has, or as I said in earlier videos, that lead screw acts as a wedge. It's not removing any wood at all. One of the disadvantages with an auger bit, whereas the lead on power drill bits is typically a triangle, and it's a crude drill bit, so it's not acting as a wedge. But on an auger bit with the threads, that's what it's doing, and that coupled with, I don't know, maybe some torque off of this can split that cone out through there. And so you can clamp it, which means that you gotta have a clamp, you gotta have pads, and then you cover up your line right there, so you gotta set your bevel square for that. You can do all that, and I do that sometimes, but you can just use a spoon bit. It won't do it. Now, why wouldn't I use a spoon bit for all the other ones? Because I'm not that good with a spoon bit, I guess. This is it's awful thin rail here. It's 11/16, and we're drilling a 3/8 hole, so it gives you less than 3/16 on either side, 5/32 or something like that. So if you're off just a tad bit, it's not good. And the spoon bit, I mean, I'm pretty good with it, but I'm not that practiced. I'm not as good with it as people that use it all the time for all of their holes. Because if you've seen, I switch around to different bits, and so I might drift just a tad bit one way or the other. So I go to the auger bit, which is a little more accurate. But here I'll use the spoon. Now here I've relieved the back side of the ear there. So I've got that I'm going into. Then this is beveled, so I've got that I'm going into. So it's kind of precarious drilling situation. And then you're drilling it with a spoon bit. You know, I love the risk of all this stuff. So I'm looking right now to see if I need to creep back one way or another with the spoon. And I do need to creep that way just the least little bit. So I'll do it right like that, and then I'll get back in position. Oh, those bits cut so sweet. Now I look at it right like that, and I need to go that way, and I need to come back just a little bit more. And they're very fast cutting bits. I mean, I'm getting down there in a hurry. Okay, I'm looking great that way. I'm looking good that way. I'm taking it a little bit slow, you know, better slow than sorry, as they say. Let's see, where am I? Now I got a mark on that bit, but I don't know if that mark's at 3/4. I don't know what I had that mark for, but it's not 3/4. Glad I looked at it, because I was taking it for 3/4. A little bit more to go. See how I'm looking there. I believe I'm there. Let's see. Got it. One more. See, I'm safe. Unsafe. Okay. No problem. Yeah, 3/4 heavy, which is fine because that tip is rounded. So I'll go over and bore this one, and then we'll put it on the tip. So.